All right, so we know how the draft process is and stuff like that, how it goes. And I don't really do ever too much draft talk because I'm like outside of like basically the quarterback and a couple players here and there. And I ain't got no ruined interest of like the player. I really don't really talk about him like that. But I did want to talk about Shedeur Sanders because I feel like this year he is the candidate of don't overthink it. Last year I sort of did one as well where I said Jaden Daniels should be the number one pick. Don't overthink it. And I was like, but I also made one with Caleb Williams in particular to the Bears of don't overthink it. So I was like, while they were both sort of candidates as well, I was like, let's not get over crazy with this. And I also talked about Penix and stuff like that because I felt like he wasn't getting the same shine and stuff and JJ McCarthy. But anyway, Sanders, I think he's his candidate. Don't overthink it because I think he is sort of one where they're like, oh, he could be anywhere from the top three to slide in the draft. And to me, I was like, I think that's crazy. I was like, if he just not your dude, just say he's like not your dude. As far like when everybody has their like boards and stuff like that, but I'm like he sort of falls into I think also this safe pick type of quarterback. We've seen it several times where it's just kind of like I was like I think like a couple years ago I was like it was also C.J. Stroud where it was just like I don't know, I guess he's sort of the pick when it's like why I was like now all of a sudden accolades don't really matter as like far as like being a quarterback where just like he does all the things, check it off, and I'm like I get it. If you're in the draft, you're gonna swing really high. Cam Ward has the arm, and I was like he could be a little bit more to me electrifying, and I was like I think that's where sometimes you can get a Josh Allen high case scenario or Anthony Richardson needs some kind of work to it, but I was like, to me, I was like, it's sort of how I felt about Jane Daniels, where I was just like, I was like, because the only thing that you really had to knock on Daniels is the fact that he was small and is he going to basically just get banged up. Other than that, I know that he got the speed to be sort of electrifying, but he's not a running quarterback in that type of way, like a Lamar Jackson, that type of way, even though we sort of can see it. I was like, to me, I was like, Shedeur Sanders, I was like, does he have like the arm strength that you're just like, whoa, that's wild? And I was like, no, it's not. I was like, he got good arm strength. But I was like, the fact that I was like, to me, I was like, him in Colorado, to me, I was like, he could make all the throws. He could stay in the pocket despite all things. I like he also made me think of like Teddy Bridgewater that we overthought it a whole lot with Teddy Bridgewater when I was like, and then when it's like, okay, now that he's like not really mobile, I was like he could sort of make the throws. I was like he's looked at as like more of an accurate quarterback, go through the process, read and stuff like that of what we used to want in a prototypical quarterback. Now it was sort of like a deterrent. And to me, I was like, I think if anything, he should be the one that's probably on people's draft boards way higher. There shouldn't be any talk of like really like sliding here. Now, if you want to say like the talent and the rest of the draft is so good that you could see maybe that's the case, sure. But the way that we do quarterbacks, I don't see why that's stopping now. Like to me, I was like it wouldn't surprise me if Dart was also in the top 10 just because of how we do quarterbacks. So the argument of him sliding doesn't really make sense. Now if he does, I was like that's a better opportunity for him to go to a better team. But I was like, I don't think we need to overdo this. So I was like, especially if he's going to be in the top of the draft. There's probably some bad teams. Guess what? He showed you that he can do with some duress, with some bad offensive line. That's what you're probably going to go to with that team. I was like, while he had Travis Hunter and Horn there, I was like, there really wasn't like a crazy offensive scheme, offensive weapons, that type of thing, or whatever. And still, he was able to put like the team on his back. I was like, he could make some stuff out of nothing or whatever. I think that he has pretty good movement in the pocket, even if he's not going to be out here scrambling. To me, I was like, I think that he sort of has the ability to do not the wild plays that we get from Patrick Mahomes, but like the stuff that just like keeps the sticks moving, kind of thing. Like what we've seen lately out of Patrick Mahomes, not the stuff at the very beginning. I think that a lot of people are still sort of drafting for that. What you got out of Patrick Mahomes when he first started in the league versus what now, and I was like, that's what I feel like Shedeur Sanders does a lot of now. And I was like, but when you see it for CJ Stroud, I was like, I think that's sort of maybe like the comp here, because I was like, while CJ Stroud can run, he's not going to just be running. I was like, he's going to really, like, if he's running, it's really just to get like the first down or something like that, or take advantage of the defense. That's how I feel like Shedeur Sanders is going to run. I was like, he's not as he's not as unathletic as like Jameis Winston running, but Jameis Winston can also run. We've seen a little bit when he was with the Saints of how he would run and get like first downs and stuff. I was like, I just think that I was like, outside of like the whole arrogance, confidence talk, because I was like, to me, that's really nonsense. No, I was like, that's just stuff to talk about because we got so much time between the draft. But I was like, I just think that we should not overthink of Shedeur Sanders and him getting to a team, and I think being ready to go pretty quickly. I was like, if the JJ McCarthy can be ready to go and stuff like that, then I was like, I feel like Shedeur Sanders is pretty much, he's already sort of made for this, outside of like, yeah, the rookie stumbles that you sort of get. But I was like, I don't think that you're going to get a lot of the wildness that we got from Caleb last year, that we were just like, I was like, you sort of see a lot of the stuff. I was like, I think the floor is already pretty much set of, like, to me, he could be Matt Ryan type of quarterback with more pocket mobility and a chance to get to run and get a first down. I was like, it's ceiling. I don't think that it's not something crazy high, but I was like, if you told me that, I was like, but I also don't like the whole we need a franchise quarterback instead of like, you want a starting quarterback. If you have a good starting quarterback, that at least gives you about 10 years. It's the way that I sort of always looked at a lot of these quarterbacks. I was just like, hey, why do you need him to play to like 36? You don't need that. If you can get the guy to play until like 32, 33, that's a good time to be. I was like a 10-year span for a franchise where they don't have to worry about a quarterback. I think that's what you're basically getting out of Shedeur Sanders. I was like, I don't think we need to overthink this. I was like, now as far as who will pick them and stuff like that, that's a lot more difficult. I was like, I wouldn't mind if he went. I was like, now that's where I can see like the drop happen. Like, say for instance, the Giants get like Russell Wilson or something like that. I was like, the Raiders got Geno Smith. That's how I figure like the drop happens. Not necessarily him, but a lot of the teams that need quarterbacks, if they fill that spot in, they're more likely to probably pass on a top of quarterback and probably getting like a later round type of quarterback, because I'm like, you're going to give Russell Wilson, I feel like maybe the time of not bringing somebody in at a high draft pick like Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix, because as soon as it goes bad, it's going to be cried out for him. Whereas like if it's like the Saints where they had Spencer Rattler and Derek Carr, that's enough of a gap where he was drafted and Derek Carr to where you're not clamoring for Spencer Rattler, I was like just off the rip or anything like that. I was like, so that's why I would see Sheduer maybe dropping, but at the same time, I'm like, let's not overthink it. Giants, I was like, he should go there. I think that's a really good fit for him. And then the Raiders and all that other stuff. Now, once we sort of start getting to 10 and stuff like that, some of you teams gotta start jumping up. I don't care. Like Steelers, go ahead, jump up. At that point, I'm like, I don't care if you got it. Well, you only got your first round pick at third. That was like, forget it, move up. I was like, that's how I feel about Shedeur Sanders. I'm like, if you see that it's starting to hinge towards out the top 10, I was like, hey, go up. But I was like, that's why if he slipped, it's nothing about him. Like, I don't believe in the whole like talking about his talent is why he's slipping. It's really to me about where everybody is placing on more so with the team and how they done feeling with quarterbacks than it is about Shedeur Sanders. I was like, let's not overthink it. I was like, he's a good enough quarterback to where I think he could put down for your team for at least about a decade. But anyway, that is my 2 cents on it. Anyway,